Today's tip is on the serve. Tip number one, where should the toss be? Okay, I'm turning sideways as if I'm going to hit a serve here. And assuming this would be 12 o'clock. Okay, there's 12 o'clock. So there's 1 o'clock. That's where you want your toss, out here at 1 o'clock to the peak of your reach, okay, and in front. 1 o'clock, peak of your reach, and in front. A good toss will land anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5 feet inside the baseline because you want to be leaning in as you're hitting your serve. Tip number two is to learn a loop toss. If you learn to loop your toss out in front, you're always going to be leaning in and the toss is out in front. Because many times players are tossing the toss, it's back over their head. So if you loop it forward, you're always going in the right direction. That's where you want to go, into the court. Now, what you do with this is you start with your weight forward, you rock back. Once the hitting arm reaches parallel here, that's where this little loop happens, right here. So you come down, you just loop around and go that way again. And notice when I come up with this arm, I'm leaning with my arm. See, I'm leaning with it, kind of like that leaning Tower of Pisa over there in Italy. You're leaning in as you hit. This way it always keeps the ball out in front. So you're always leaning in. The toss is always out in front. Hopefully at 1 o'clock to the peak of your reach. That's what you have to practice. You've got to get the ball at 1 o'clock to the peak of your reach and out in front. Okay, why do I say toss to the peak of your reach? You know, I see guys on the tour, on the women's side, men's side as well, they toss the ball super high. But when you toss the ball out of your reach, you have to wait for the ball to come down. As the ball is dropping, it's picking up speed at the rate of gravity. So if let's just say this is as high as I can reach right now. Now if I toss the ball way up here, I have to wait for it to come down to here before I can hit it. Now, if the ball's up here, the ball stops in midair, then it starts to drop at the rate of gravity, but as it's dropping, it's picking up speed. So by the time it gets to your hitting zone over here, the ball's moving fast. It's moving fast through your hitting zone. You don't want that. Now, if you just toss to the peak of your reach, let's say the racket right now is at the peak of my reach. If I just toss the ball to here, the ball stops in midair for that split second. Then it starts to drop at the rate of gravity, but it's dropping slower here. So it hasn't picked up speed yet. So it stops there, starts to drop, it still hasn't picked up speed. It's been proven when you toss to the peak of your reach, this is a proven fact, you actually have 10 times more time to hit the ball. And many times, you know, I'll hear a friend of somebody out there having trouble with their serve and they'll say, toss it higher, as if tossing higher is the cure for everything. It's not. Okay, so the only thing I'm concentrating on right now is hitting the ball at the peak of the reach. When the ball stops for that millisecond in midair, before it starts to drop, that's when I want to hit it. Okay, here we go. Right at the peak. Peak of the reach. Okay, a couple of things to notice here. The toss is out in front at that 1 o'clock, and I'm leaning in right now. You'll see as I fall in on the finish. So that's the peak of the reach right there. Remember that. The ball is in your hitting zone 10 times longer on a toss just to the peak of your reach. That makes the serve easier. It's not as difficult. Tip number 4, if you really want to develop a serve, you've got to learn a good throwing motion. Now, I know for some ladies that's tough, so you've got to get out and practice. Even for guys from Europe and South America, because they played soccer, they didn't play baseball, they may not have a good throwing motion. But if you watch a pitcher in baseball, okay, they go to here, they turn, and as they come back, notice the palm of my hand is down. You'll never see a pitcher go like this and throw the ball like that. That's when you get the patty cake throw or the patty cake serve. You know, you've seen it. People are doing this. Now, if you keep the palm of the hand down and you have a continental grip, this allows the racket to form that perfect loop. See, when you come back, the hand is down. Now you're coming around, and see the loop is happening right here, down, and then you're coming up. So throwing motion is absolutely key. So what I'd suggest is, you know, just going to the baseline and turning sideways as if you're serving, and just bring your hands back like you're going to serve. Here, come up with the hands, and then just throw a ball over the net. So you're here and you're throwing, okay? So you learn that throwing motion and just practice that. Remember, you're turning your shoulders here, rotating, and then rotate around. If the palm stays down, once the arm reaches horizontal here, just let the elbow relax, the hand comes up, and then the shoulder starts to go towards the net. So as I start to relax the elbow, the shoulder's turning, and that allows me to fling. That's what you want. If you can develop that, you're going to have a serve, an excellent serve. Develop that throwing motion. It's really going to pay off. Make sure to sign up for my free online tennis camp for more tips like these. All the best and happy hitting. Take care.